In problem 98, a ball is thrown straight down from the top of a 220-foot building with an initial velocity of negative 22 feet per second. So here v sub 0 is negative 22 and s sub 0 is 220. So when we put our position function together, this time it will be s of t is equal to negative 16t squared minus 22t plus 220. And we're ready to begin to look at the problem. What we're looking for, first of all, what is its velocity after 3 seconds? So we'll need to find the velocity function here. And v of t will be negative 32t minus 22. To find the velocity at 3 seconds, we simply plug in t equals 3 into that equation. And we'll have negative 32 times 3, which is negative 96 minus 22, which gives us negative 118 feet per second. So that's the velocity at 3 seconds. The next question asks, what is the velocity after falling 108 feet? So the way we're going to look at this is after falling 108 feet, then starting originally at 220 feet, we would have 112 feet. So the object started at 220, it fell 108 feet, and it's still 112 feet above the ground. Now we need to find out what time it was at 112 feet above the ground. So we'll take our initial position function, negative 16t squared minus 22t plus 220, and we're going to set that equal to 112. We will subtract across the 112 since it's a quadratic function, and we'll want to solve that equation there. So I'm going to bring in the graphing calculator now, and I'm going to go ahead and enter that function into y1. Now we could find out where this is equal to 0 simply by graphing this function. So I'm going to zoom, standard, and see what we get here. Now this is an upside down parabola, which you can't really tell, and it looks like it's going to be at t equals 2. And we can tell that by looking for that 0 value. We'll do second trace, which is calc. We're looking for a 0, and it's somewhere between x equals 0 and x equals 3, and that value is exactly at x equals 2. So we probably could have factored this expression here, but this is good enough. Obviously we don't need to worry about the negative value in there because the time is always going to be positive. So at the point when the object, a ball, has been thrown down and it has reached 112 feet, at that instant, now we want to find out what the velocity is at that point in time. So all we really have to do is go back to our velocity function and plug in t equals 2. And so that would be v of 2, which is negative 32 times 2 minus 22. Negative 32 times 2 is negative 64, minus 22 is negative 86. And that would be feet per second. So at that instant when the object has fallen 108 feet, it's still 112 feet above the ground. At that instant it is traveling at 86 feet per second downward. So the negative just means that it's moving down 86 feet per second at that point. And so that is going to bring us to the end of problem number 98. And we'll continue to be working with motion problems throughout the course, and it will help to give some context and some application to what we're learning.